Hello guys, in this video we are going to talk about how to file your taxes as a new immigrant in America. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me. I did a video recently about the top 5 money lessons that I've learned as an immigrant in America. I talked about credit, I talked about taxes, and the fact that I didn't know anything about credit building or about taxes when I first came to the US. I blame it on myself almost 90% because I did not do any research. And years later, now I have the courage to admit to myself that partially that was my fault. So I'm doing these videos, a series of videos of things that I wish that I knew before making any financial decisions here in the US. These are videos that I would have loved to see prior to me coming to the US or prior to me making financial decisions. So today we're going to talk about how to file your taxes as a new immigrant. I have another video that I did recently about how to build your credit as a new immigrant in America, and I will attach it to the description down below. So the US taxes is a broad and complicated topic. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know a lot about taxes, but I know enough to help me understand a few things about taxes. IRS.gov should be your friend as far as taxes are concerned. It's the Internal Revenue Service. It's one of those sure things. In America, they say taxes is one of those sure things that you have to file your taxes. If you don't have a basic understanding of what you're doing when you're filing your taxes, or if you even have to file taxes, and if you do, how do you file your taxes, then the IRS will come for you. And it will not be pleasant because the penalties, the charges, the fees, they pile up, and they can use legal ways to get money back. Like if you haven't paid your taxes or if you haven't filed your taxes, they will come for their money. That's a sure bet. So IRS.gov is where you would go. So let me take you there. Filing tax annually actually is a requirement if you fall on that threshold income, gross income threshold. And I'll show you for the 2024 how much you need to be making as a gross income per year for you to be required to file taxes here in the US. So we'll talk about different filing statuses: filing single, filing as head of household, filing married, filing jointly, married, filing separately. And if you watched my video, you saw my story of how I screwed myself over the first time I filed taxes here in the US because I did not do my research, and I did not do any background information about taxes. So let's go to the IRS website, and it tells you how to file actually step by step. So this video is just a summary of this information. So if you take some time to just study this website, remember how when we were doing the DV lottery videos, we kept telling you guys, if you want to have information, if you want to be well equipped, well prepared, go to the uscis.gov website, go to travel.state.gov website, study those websites and find out information about the thing that you want. You want the diversity visa, you want to know the process for that, go to these official websites and study them. So if you want to know about taxes, the basics and the complicated stuff about taxes, what better site to go than irs.gov? So this is where you go. You can type in a question here and search, and it will give you more information about what you need. So filing your taxes you need to know your status. And what do I mean by that? You can be filing as single, you can be filing as married, filing separately, you can be filing as married, filing jointly, you can be filing as head of household. And this website gives you information about which category you fall under. And there's information here. There's like a questionnaire that helps you. If you put in your information, it will let you know which one will save you more money. So if more than one filing status applies to you, this interview will choose the one that will result in the lowest amount of tax. So you'll need the marital status and the spouse's year of death, if applicable, and the percentage of the cost that your household members paid toward keeping up the home. So if you use these two here, you can begin. I'm not going to click on it because this is just a sample and you will need to put your personal information there. It will take you about 5 minutes to know what is your filing status. Once you figure that out, then you will need to know how to file. So let me go to, there's different ways that you can file. You can file by yourself, right? You can file by yourself, or you can go to a professional and have them file for you. If your taxes are going to be simple, if you just had, for example, just one job, then you just need your W-2, and I'll show you a sample of that, the income reported by your employer. That's all you need. If you didn't have like any child care, if you didn't go to school, if it's just a simple tax return is the paper that you file, you put all the information there and you send it to IRS, and they determine whether have you paid enough for that past year or do you need to pay them more. If you overpaid, then they send you money back. It's called a tax refund. So this video is not sponsored by TurboTax. This is just one of the tools that you can use to do it yourself, to file your taxes, your personal taxes. You can do this for free, or you can do this with the help of an expert, or you can just buy the software and do it yourself. For the most part, I do my taxes myself because I just follow the instructions, and sometimes I'll just pay a little bit and get guidance from somebody who will like be correcting me as I go. So how do you know if you are eligible or if you're required to file your taxes? So the way you know is by the gross income threshold. So for last year, if you are earning the gross income of more than 13,800, then you are required to pay taxes. For this year, it's gone up. If you're single and under 65, you should file a tax return if your gross income was at least this amount, so 14,600. And you can follow this chart to see where you fall under and how much you will need to be earning at a minimum in order for you to file your taxes. So when it comes to filing taxes, what do you need? First of all, you need a social security number, and you get that from Social Security Administration. In order for you to work anyway, you'd have already gotten that, or the ITIN number. If you're not eligible to get a social security number. Once you get that, obviously you've worked for the whole year, and now you're ready to file your taxes. Every year, file your taxes. Even if you're not going to get a tax return, you should file your taxes. So the way you file your taxes is you gather all your paperwork, gather the paperwork that you need, and you will, if you are single, and your personal taxes are now complicated, and even if they are, and it's an individual income, then you're reporting it on this form called 1040. This is the U.S. Individual Income Tax Return. So for 2023, so make sure you're paying attention when you're doing this. You can do it electronically. Most of the time now, that's what people are doing, most people. When I first came, we were doing it manually. You would do it on a paper, and then you would make copies of it and you would mail it to IRS, and then they will receive it, and then they'll review it, they will accept it. If you are qualified for any tax refund, then they would send you the money via mail. But nowadays, you can just include your bank account information, the routing number, the account number, and they will send you the money to your checking account if you need to be refunded if you overpaid. All right. So how you file your taxes, you will need some documents. Okay. You will need some documents. Have them ready so that you're not going back and forth getting this document and then stopping and then going to get another document. So gather your documents, and this is what you will need. You will need your tax forms, your W-2 from your previous employer. You need your social security number, or the ITIN number that we talked about. That's the individual tax ID number. For you and for anybody else in your tax return. If you have children or any dependents that you will add to your tax return, make sure you have their social security numbers or ITIN numbers. Bank account and routing number, we talked about that. If you want your money to be sent electronically, the refund, if you're eligible for that. Your adjusted gross income and exact refund amount from your last tax return, if applicable. So this video is for new immigrants. If this is the first time that you're doing your taxes, if you did your taxes last year, then you will need to have your tax return from last year. The name on record with the Social Security Administration. If you change your name, you have to notify Social Security Administration so that those names can correlate and can match with the IRS. Your current address, where you're living right now, if you change your address, make sure you notify IRS as well. The other documents that you need is your pay stubs, your paychecks, and that can be consolidated into a W-2. And a W-2 looks something like this. It has your total earnings for that year. It has the company that you worked for. It has the year, and it comes in different copies. It's like 3 or 4 copies. And one of those copies is for you. For the federal filing, it has your deductions on there. It has your last 4 digits of your social there, the federal income tax withheld for that year. So when they look at this number, and depending on your tax bracket, they look at it to see, did you pay enough money that year to the IRS? Did you pay more or did you pay less? So depending on the deductions that you're going to deduct for that year, then that's how they'll determine whether you're going to get money back or you still owe them, or you're just not paying anything. It has the total of your wages, all the money that you earned for that year if you're employed. It has the Social Security wages, the deductions for Social Security. It has the Medicare wages, the deductions that were deducted for Medicare, the taxes, and the taxes for the Social Security as well. And we'll break down the anatomy of a pay stub, because when you get a pay stub, you're not getting all your gross money. The gross is the first amount before deductions. That's not what you get. After the deductions and taxes, we'll go over one of these days the anatomy of a pay stub to see how much money is deducted from your paycheck before you even get it to use it to get to use your money. Before the money hits your account, the deductions are way so many, in my opinion. But we'll talk about that in another video. So you should have your W-2 as part of your documents, okay? You have that ready. If you worked more than 1 jobs, then you will have all the W-2s for those jobs. You have 3 jobs, then you'll have 3 W-2s. So let's say, for example, you came to the US and you're working as agency for whatever. You are a contractor, you're not, you are employed, but you also have a side hustle that you're doing that is paying you. So in that case, the whoever is paying you, you've contracted with, or you're working for whatever agency, they will send you something called the 1099. The 1099 is for the self-employed people, or people who are doing a contract. So instead of getting a W-2, they will send you a 1099. So make sure you use that as part of the income. So you'll add that, you'll put that together with your W-2. If you went to school, then you would there's a paper that they send you from school, and you will use that also as part of the documents that you will need to put aside. So for example, if you went to school in 2024, it's called Form 1098T. So that has the tuition, all the money that you paid, all the expenses, related expenses that you paid for school. So you get that form, and then you put it aside together with the W-2, the 1099s. So if you also, let's say you bought a house and you paid property taxes for that house, then you will have that paper on the side as well. Let me see if there's anything that I'm forgetting. Any other thing, if you bought a house and you are paying homeowners association fees, you can have that on the side. If you paid any health insurance, you will get a form called 1095C. You'll put that on the side as well. If you have a bank account and you have any interest that you got from your savings, you'll have that on the side. Any kind of income, they want the paperwork, you have that on the side. So once you do that, once you have all the paperwork ready, then you will file on that 1040. You'll go and file electronically. You can do it yourself, or you can get help from a tax preparer or an accountant to help you do the taxes. So childcare, if you had a child and you took them to childcare and you paid money, childcare expenses, you should have that information. Home mortgage and property taxes, all the interest that you paid if you had a house, any donations to charity, health savings account. Some jobs have a health savings account option, or flexible spending account contributions. Retirement contributions, if you have your own retirement fund and you have contributed a certain amount in that account, then you need to have that. Statements from banks, if you have like a side job, the 1099s, we talked about that. If you are doing it yourself, then you'll have all that information and you'll just be entering information on the 1040. So as you continue, you'll be prompted to, let me see if I can get that 1040 back up here. So you fill this first information here. This is your personal information, and then you'll pick which status you are. Let's blow it up a little. If you're filing single, if you're filing married, filing jointly, even if only one had income, married, filing separately, head of household, and then it asks you all these questions. Do you have a dependent? Do you have children? And then you would list them. Is there anybody that depends on you for living, like somebody living in your household? Let's say, for example, you own a house now and you live with, or somebody lives with you, either a parent or your child, and they depend on you. Then you would put their information here, their social security and their relationship to you. And then your income, it asks you to put your income here, any tax credits, any credits that you qualify for, things that you have paid, and then it will calculate as you continue, it calculates the income, the refund that you will get or the amount that you will owe. Then they will ask you to sign it. If it's somebody else that is preparing for you, they will sign here. So that's pretty much how you do your taxes. I know that's just a quick summary, but just be familiar with this kind of processes, how to file taxes, how to get your credit uh, established, how to, things like those that is important. These are the kind of videos that I wish that I had seen prior to coming to the US or prior to making financial decisions. So if you find value in this video, please subscribe and share with somebody else who might benefit from it. I thank you for watching. If you have any other questions, or if there's a topic that you would want me to cover, things that you feel like will be helpful for you as a new immigrant coming to the US, especially people who are winning the green card and coming to the US and starting life brand new. If there's anything you want me to talk about to prepare you for a better transition, let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.